it down in a picture. So we have the dose of the skin is king. This is the absolutely most important parameter, okay? Because will be dose at the target tissue, yes, but we don't know how deep it is, so that depends. But in general, if I focus on the dose of the skin, I can estimate how much of that dose is penetrating for 1 centimeter, 2 centimeters, 3 centimeters, and so on. Okay, all the formulas will be based on dose of the skin, because that's the only way we have control and we can measure. The rest we can estimate. We have some ideas how to estimate that, how to estimate the loss of energy according to the depth. I'll give you that little formula in a moment. Anyway, dose of the skin is king, and target tissue depth, of course, we have to know that, to estimate that. Wavelengths, like the Walt was saying, yeah, and the technique. Those are the key elements. Let me put a graphics on how they affect each other. The target tissue depth greatly influences the dose of the skin. Okay, it's a multiplication factor. Also, the target tissue depends how deep it is. That will tell me what kind of wavelengths are suitable and what wavelengths will not be suitable. In fact, in terms of wavelengths, if the target tissue is in the skin, which is not in this case the brain, right? Red laser will be fine because penetration is very poor. But in the case we're talking about the brain, wavelengths also drives the technique. Certain wavelengths will get too hot, so you have to move the handpiece like crazy, which defeats the purpose of penetrating into the tissues. And the target tissue, of course, affects the technique also. But there are also the restrictions. If you want a high dose, then that may limit. The blue arrows are limits or restrictions. If you want a high dose, that may limit how much you can penetrate. Same thing on the wavelengths. You have the wrong wavelengths, you may not be able to reach the target tissue. And same thing happens to the technique. If you have the poor technique, you don't know how to use the laser, that will determine what kind of wavelength will be suitable for that. So anyway, so this is kind of a summary. It's more details than that, but this is what it takes to, not all the time, because we're dealing with a difficult, important structure and a difficult problem. There's no way around. We have to look at all the different factors, which makes it a little more complicated to come up with what is the optimum protocol.